Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a special deck profile. Last week, a donator in SufferYGO's chat gave 5 gifted subs to SufferYGO. That's twitch.tv/SufferYGO, also known as Sam Hayes. And he gave 5 subs, and Sam had to play a special deck on the next local. Plunder Patroll Eldlich.
Best deck.
Now, I don't know why, I don't know how, but he won with the best deck. Who did you beat?
Round 1, I played against Ryan, and today is like the only day Firewall's legal, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so Ryan, he was playing Trickstar with Firewall, and game 1 he bricked really hard. Game 2 I outgrinded him, sort of. Round 2 against Jerry with Mech Knights, and this deck cannot play around columns at all. It's like I tech it out once and then he just kept summoning, but I had like Torrential and good traps. Game 3 against you, Judgment was MVP. And round 4 against Prankits, where again, I don't know how, but I just outgrinded the deck. It's kind of nice.
What can we say? It's the best deck apparently. All right, so yeah, let's head straight into the deck profile then.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Metitude, who was the viewer to actually gift the 5 subs. So major shout out to him. If you want to make me play something weird on stream, come into my stream, give me 5 subs, and I'll play whatever you want.
Yo, this is a fucking sellout channel now.
No, we'll get into the list. The list was because the viewer sent me a list, and I kind of like get together what I have to keep like the main thing together. So it's still Plunder Eldlich. He was playing like Magician Souls and Ice Dragon Prison and Strike. Those are cards I do not own. So I swapped around a couple of cards, which I will tell you in the profile. But
Bro,
for the Eldlich,
this is my Eldlich deck. Those are my Eldlich cards.
These are mine now.
No.
Did you ever accomplish anything with these cards? Come on, bro.
With those specific cards, yes, sadly, yeah.
No, guys. I've played, of course, 3 Eldland with 2 Lord and the standard traps with only 2 Aquiro. Like in theory, this is bad because you want to play 3, but in reality, I played 4 rounds and I just played pure Plunder. This card is really cool because it just pushes damage with the field spell, because you can discard it for the field spell and then get it back by sending the field spell to graveyard, which you can then again activate from the graveyard. So that's a cool interaction. But I basically never used Aquiro in Conquistador, except for making a really cool extra deck monster. But yeah, this is for the standard Eldlich cards.
I like that there actually is synergy between the 2 decks.
Yeah, there sort of is. Then the field spell for the Plunder. This card is actually insane. What this card accomplishes, it just like it keeps your deck going. If it's in your grave, you get a card to your hand to set it, to activate it again. It's nuts with Lord. It's actually really good. And it gives like a lot of attack. So this deck doesn't have a main deck Dragoon out, but if you summon a bunch of Plunders with this card on the field, you might be able to out it. And then for the rest of the Plunders, 3 white, 3 red, is that? Yeah. 3 golden hair and 1 blue with 2 booty. So yeah, this is kind of standard, I think.
Only 2 booty?
Dude, I don't know. I didn't make the list. But yeah, there were 2 booty, so I played 2 booty. Like it's searchable with the field spell, of course. And I only really needed it in the game in the match 4 in the finals against Prankits, because they don't really give you an attribute. So I had this, I made it dark, I banished something, so it actually came up. And the rest of the Plunders don't really matter. Like these are cool these are good for the grind game. This is there as like a pseudo extender. And these are just the boys you end your field on. Then I play 3 hand traps, triple Ash, because this deck loses to Dragoon, so you want to Ash the Red Ice Fusion always, which I did twice.
But you have no response for the Bertie Anaconda?
Yeah, we do. We have triple Solemn Judgment.
Yeah, okay, sure, whatever.
No, this card, it negated evenly matched once. It like negated a normal summon prank it. So yeah, it can do anything. Best card in the deck today.
Except negate monster effects.
Except negate monsters effects, exactly. Triple Torrential. This is where like these two cards in the other list they were Strike and Ice Dragon Prison. Because I have no Ice Dragon Prison, I needed to have a negate for Red Ice Fusion, which I now have with Ash and Judgment. I have 6. Because this deck, as every deck in this format, loses to Red Ice Fusion going second or first. And the Torrential Tribute isn't really bad for yourself because your plunders trigger when they're sent to the graveyard, of course. Your Eldlich cards don't really care for being in the graveyard. And it's just a really good board wipe for the enemy. And Judgment is still just broken. And the final 2 cards in the deck were 2 Dino Miscus. Reason I played 2 of this is because I had 2 spots left. And the discard is sometimes really good and sometimes extremely bad because you need to always have a plunder in your hand for your plunder deck to work. But this can out like some problem cards, like there can be only one. I outed it with this once. And it triggers like a bunch of your cards. So that's it for the main deck.
Best
then
deck.
The extra deck. They have 1 Almirage, Phoenix, Unicorn, and Access Code Talker. I never summoned these 3. I don't know where they're in there, but they should have a purpose. Almirage is, of course, to make the with the golden hair or the Redbeard to like be able to make a Blackbeard turn 1, which is like the bread and butter of the deck. Because this can be like almost anything your opponent summons. Like this can be any of the other ships, or it summons them at least if your opponent has the appropriate attribute. So like fire, dark, light. This came up really a lot against the Mech Knight deck, Murk as well, because he had all the World Legacy cards. And Bron was really good against Prank It, because they like break your field, but you can end on a Bron, which will most often have like a bunch of attack if you have the field spell. And from there, you can just like in their standby phase or their draw phase, you can pop their set, which would be Pandemonium. So my opponent, he set like 2 cards. Like in my end phase, I popped 1. In my standby phase, I popped another one, so he couldn't do Pandemonium in his main phase. Murk's probably the best removal against every deck right now. The final 2 synchros. 1 Dray Guide, which I never made. It's just a free negate. But the points where you can actually make this, you're most often locked into Plunder. So I didn't really see this coming up. And the final card is the best card for this deck. It's a Charles Infernoble Boy. This card is also really cool. Because it destroys cards, Marijn. And you make it with your Plunder and your Eldlich boys. This equals this. It was just a less thing. I think the dude that sent me the deck list, he was playing some Will, Deep Aura Will or something. I don't know if you know what it is, like a level 9 synchro. I didn't have that, so I played another level 9 synchro, and I thought like Plunders equip, this pops when equipped, so GG. It was really good.
Solid.
I summoned it like 3 times.
Wow.
It's actually a lot.
Wow.
I didn't even summon Dray Guide. Then for the side deck, Bankertops, triple Phantasme, triple Lancia, triple Twin, triple Anti-Spell, 1 Order, 1 Harpy's Featherduster. I think this is really basic. You just want to like, this deck breaks a lot for some reason. So you want to fix your hands with the Phantasme. Lancia is really good this format against Dino. And Bankertops like Alpha just breaks pretty much every field that any deck puts up.
Alright, solid deck, yeah. Looks better than
Right.
Zoo Eldlich, at least.
Lemao. So what's better, a Trident or a Blackbeard?
Like actual synergy between the decks. That's what I like. Awesome. Not really much I can add. You won 4-0 with the best deck. Are you gonna play this more in the future?
No, what the fuck? Maybe if someone ever makes me play this again, I might.
It's an interesting concept.
But I mean, you're like the Eldlich player in our group, and Bruce is the Plunder player in our group, and I just combined those two to make this little precious baby. But it's going straight back into Marijn's binder. I'm not gonna fucking play this anymore. I don't think it's good. I just got extremely lucky with judgments, and like the cards just make you go plus. So if your opponent doesn't really do anything, you're always winning, and you can just keep up a lot with the Eldlich cards.
Right.
So I think it's overall it's solid, but it's like not better than another deck for this format.
Interesting concept. Of course, Plunder will get more support in the future, and there will be plenty more slower formats coming. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't really want to write this off because I do think it's actually good. Maybe now they cannot really keep up with something like Dragon Link, but
Yeah,
it's something to
I
keep
don't
in
think
the back of your head.
I never like this. It's the same with that Orcust Eldlich deck. Like it's something like Eldlich just is splashable on so much stuff, and yeah, for some reason it just works with almost everything. And I think people are just gonna try it with a bunch more decks. And I don't really think Plunder is the way to go, but it might be. There might be some player that figures out a sick interaction that makes it tier 0.
Yeah,
we never know.
All right. So if you want to check out SufferYGO's live streams, go to twitch.tv/SufferYGO. Link is always in the description. And yeah, thank you for the deck profile, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Yep.